Welcome to With Heart and Soul podcast. You're listening to your hosts, David and Jackie. Hi, David.
Hello, hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. The weather is getting good. I think it was raining maybe Tuesday or Wednesday here, but as soon as it stopped raining, it was 80 degrees. So so weather in Georgia is getting hot and it's really spring, which is a good thing. I don't want to jinx it because next week it could be raining all week because of it's being spring as well. So how are you doing and how is it in the Allentown area?
I'm feeling jealous about everything you just said. It's freaking like winter here this week, and I'm so annoyed.
Oh man.
It's not winter, but it's like in the 50s. And I'm sure, as you have seen, I've been working on my wardrobe and like on my warm weather wardrobe. And I want to wear that stuff and I can't because it's like so gloomy and gray, especially today. So that's a bummer, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Shout out to Jackie because I've been peeping her Instagram and I definitely have been seeing how she mixes and matches the clothes. And I think there was a website that you posted that you actually order stuff. It's like $3. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, threadup.com. I heard about it from like influencers getting like brand deals with them. Are you familiar with like brand deals?
Yeah, I know what brand deals are. I didn't know what
Oh,
the
okay.
website was.
Well, yeah, like different influencers had brand deals with threadup, and I was like, you know what? Let me check that out. So I did, and I've just been finding the best clothing on there. They have really good stuff on there. So
Oh, that's cool. Now, is it one of those websites where you have to do like a subscription, or is it like you could buy individual stuff?
yeah, no subscription. You just get on whenever and buy things. You can also sell back your items, so I did that as well.
Mm,
So yeah, it's really cool, really convenient, and I love it.
awesome, awesome.
I'm hooked. I
Also,
don't know if they had,
oh no,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I was gonna do another shout out to you because Jackie sent me some pictures of the well anticipated collab coaching apparel that are going to be shipped this week or next week, whatever you guys are done. No rush, but I'm excited about those because there was some great color combinations. And it's like Jackie like read my mind as far as the color schemes for the shirts. So
Yeah, I try to think of you and put you into a shirt. Like, I'm just like, what would David like? And I'm pretty good at figuring that out, I think. And it was so easy to find your shirts. Like, I walked into the thrift store and I kind of just like stood back from the rack and I was like, wherever there is a really like kind of obnoxious color, I'm going to go over to it. So that's what I did. And it happened to be a large and like a beautiful t shirt, perfect quality, soft t-shirt, and I was just like, that's the one. And then I came home and I picked the colors for the design on it, and yeah, I had fun. I really love Sierra's hoodie too. It's really, really cute.
Yeah, I did too. Now, I don't know if obnoxious is a compliment or not, but I'm gonna go with it as a compliment.
I don't think it's an insult. That totally reminds me that at this one job I wore like these cheetah print platform boots,
Mhm.
and this guy said to me, it's so loud in here because of your shoes. Like, it was like a super corny joke, but he was like saying that my shoes were very loud. So I wear loud things too. I don't think it's an insult, but I think that people just like notice it more, I would say. Like, they're just like, whoa, what are you wearing?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think a lot of people choose colors to not necessarily saying that they're trying to, but sometimes subconsciously they'll choose things to blend in per se.
Yeah.
Whereas you get someone like me, it's like, no, give me the brightest thing I could find and let me wear it. Let me see if it works. Of course, not everything works. Shout out to my wife. She's very honest about some things that don't work, but there are some things that definitely do work. And it's just about you being brave enough to actually put it on. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like we talked about this before, just like
Yeah.
about being brave with your style. But you
Mhm.
have like what color is that, like burnt orange or burgundy
It's
today?
a burgundy. Burgundy.
Burgundy.
Yeah.
Did you wear a t-shirt on purpose? Because
I
I
did.
said you never wear
I did.
t-shirts.
I did. I'm wearing a full t-shirt. Yeah, because I was like, you know what? Jackie's right. I always wear button up. So like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get myself ready for the clothes that are coming, because I told Jacky as soon as I start getting them, she's gonna start wearing those shirts for recording. So whether it's my personal coaching stuff or my time with you as far as doing the podcast, just wearing more t-shirts and feeling more free. So
yeah, you do look like very I don't know, you look different.
yes. I
Like
think so. I do
relaxed.
I do too. I feel different
Yeah.
as well with that. So thank you and kudos to you for pointing that out. So
You look nice though, like a nice different. It's a nice switch up. I like your glasses. Do you wear the clear ones every day or do you just look different today?
no, I just chose the glasses to match the shirt.
Okay, gotcha.
Fun fact, I don't actually wear glasses like during the day. If I'm driving, yeah, but I when I'm like at home working from home, I don't really wear glasses because I don't specifically need them. I'm nearsighted, so I can't see far. So
Oh,
if I'm in front of the computer, I can see fine. So I only wear them to be stylish or things like
oh, interesting. I thought you were actually blind because when you take your glasses off, your eyes are so tiny.
yeah, I don't know. I think because of the years of when I haven't worn glasses,
Mhm.
my eyes are just accustomed to like trying to squint and focus on things. So, but I don't know. Maybe I don't notice it anymore. So
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the one t-shirt is like a cross between pink and orange. Like it's like not scarlet. I don't know. It's a very bright like cross between orange and pink. I'm sure you've seen the color before. I think it's like infrared. Infrared. You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like that color. So that was like not obnoxious, but very definitely a loud color, especially on your skin complexion. But I think it'll look nice.
Yeah, I'm all for it. As I told you, I'm gonna wear all of them. So
All right, well, I can't wait. Even though you still didn't get your first order yet, I'm so over it.
yeah, USPS nowadays. For anybody listening that actually works for USPS, you guys are slacking.
I thought you were gonna say thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you for your service, but I mean, I've definitely seen on social media where like people who actually send things to people and things like that for business, they have been complaining like about USPS being very slow with shipments. I mean, it's due to COVID for sure. Like I'm not
I was,
complaining.
yeah.
Yeah, but it happens. So
I was just gonna say that. I was like, I don't want to get into that whole thing, but yeah, everything has changed because of COVID. Like obviously, like everything. You can get everything in like one click on your phone. And like I think that the mailing system is overwhelmed,
yeah,
but
yeah.
hopefully it gets here soon and you post it on Instagram and everybody can go see it on Instagram.
Yes.
So we have, I guess, two things that we're going to touch on today. We are going to talk about, we've talked about this before, but we're going to talk about setting boundaries more on like a personal level. I think in our previous episode, it was like about work. But either way, that was on season 1. So this is like season 2 of us. Okay. We have some new stuff to say about setting boundaries. And we're also going to touch a little bit on David's series that he's doing right now on his coaching page, which is about emotional cheating. But I like to call it emotional affair better. Like I've never heard emotional cheating. Like you're the only person who said those words. And also surprise hurt. Those two things. You gotta trademark them. But but yeah, so that's what we're gonna talk about. So I don't know, like where do you want to start?
We could talk about the setting boundaries because I know you have I wouldn't say passionate, but you before we started recording, it seemed like you had a situation that you wanted to express. So I'll let you take away with that.
Yes, I feel like I can't really like talk about it because I feel like the person's gonna like clearly know, and they're kind of like still around. But I just feel like after everything that I've been through in my life, like I was trying to tell you, I just really don't feel like people are worth it. Like I spent way too many years like spreading myself way too thin for other people. and them never reciprocating it. And I was exhausted by this. Like, I would try to just make sure that everybody was okay at all times in like all different types of ways. And it's not like people were asking me to do things. I just would do it, and I would feel resentful afterwards because I was doing it for a reason, and it was to be loved, and it wasn't working. Like, it's like no matter what I did for other people, they still did not love me more. So I feel like, not that I'm jaded, but just that I've opened my eyes more to like how people are, and I'm very selective when I choose people now. Whereas before, I wanted to be chosen so bad. Now I look at people like, do I choose you? I'm not worried about if you choose me. Do I choose you? So that's how my mentality is now. So when it comes to me setting boundaries, first of all, I'm like irritated that I even have to set a boundary, because I'm a very kind and respectful person. So when someone is like not nice to me or disrespects me, I'm always just like, why? Like, I have never done anything to you. Like, I would never do anything to hurt anyone intentionally or to their face or anything like that. So the fact that I even have to tell you to please be kind to me is already a turn off to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if I have to set a boundary one time, like that's fine, but I'm already like a little bit turned off by you already. If I have to tell you yet again, like to respect me and to be kind to me a second time, I feel like I'm pretty much done with that person after that. Like, I'm over it.
So it's like a one strike with Jacky, and if you do the same thing again, like X, you're out.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I need to talk to my therapist about that, but I know that I'm not saying that this is right. I'm just saying that this is how I feel.
No, I mean, of course, first and foremost, you have the right to say who you want in your life or not. Of course, I mean, because it's your life. You make the final decisions. Um, I don't know. Do you feel like you're at the point where you feel like you don't need those particular people in your life? Like it's kind of, I would say like it sounds like it's kind of like you're giving them the privilege to be in your life. And if they're taking advantage of that privilege, you kind
Mhm.
of look at them a little differently. Is that basically what it is?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Like, it is a privilege to be in my life. Whereas before, I used to think that other people were a privilege to me. Now I view myself as a privilege. And like I said, if I've never done anything mean to you ever, then why are you being mean to me? And
Mm.
why do I have to tell you twice not to be mean to me? Like, at this point, are you just a mean person, or are you trying to take advantage of my kindness? Because that's what used to happen in the past. Like, I'm so like extremely kind to the point where like people take advantage.
Mm. Now, is it a situation where these people, like, you address it with them, and do they like kind of push it off or don't acknowledge what you're saying, or is it more like they have their own agenda and they want to stick to that agenda?
I would say that I addressed it, and then like this person apologized, and like there was a healthy conversation, but then it happened again, and it's just like, okay, what the hell? Like, again, I've literally never done anything to you. So at this point, this is just who you are.
Mm, mm.
And it's just like a newer person in my life. Like, when it comes to new people, I'm not messing around.
Is it I guess I mean I agree with you. Like, it's more of like, what is it saying? Like, if people show you who they are, you have to believe them, instead
Yeah.
of you trying to, oh no, that's not really them. They're just acting like this because of this, or they're doing this because of that. This is not who they truly are. No, like, I imagine this person is an adult. So if this person is an adult, they know what they're doing, unless they're like completely blind to the fact. But at the same time, they can't be 100% blind to the fact, because you addressed it with them and you
Yeah.
said, "Hey, you may not know this, but this is happening, and I don't like it." But then they continue to do it again. It reminds me of a situation where, not now, back in the day. Well, I've always been a person that checks up on people. I've always been a person that, since maybe high school, but I've always been a person that checks up on people. And I've had situations where people take advantage of that. Like, as far as like, you check up on them, but they don't really care about checking up on you. and you'll rather alter the conversation about them and what's going on with them. Now, granted, I say if you need to vent, go ahead and vent, but let the person know that you're venting. Let the person know that, hey, this time I'm venting, but next time we're going to talk about other things. Perfectly fine. The problem comes when all you do when you talk to a particular person is that all they do is vent. And they just want you to listen to them after they finish talking. Oh, I gotta go. Oh, I gotta talk to you later, or things like that. So I've had situations where a couple of friends where all they did was vent. All they did was just talk about themselves. And I remember one time my wife was like, "Dang, you've been on the phone with this person for X, like maybe an hour or two, and they're still talking about themselves." And she was like, "I would just hang up." and it was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, but it was because I was too nice. As you said, I am a naturally nice person as well, just like you. I feel like it's rude to hang up on people or stuff like that. But I had to build that backbone. I had to build the backbone of like, all right, I gotta go, or I gotta talk to you later. Or I would say, well, one good thing I always say to exit from those situations is like, okay, well, what are you doing to help yourself about that? What are you doing about that situation? Oh, I don't know. I was like, well, take some time to figure it out and talk and get back to me later. And just end the conversation, because some people, not everybody, and if you are this person, check yourself. Some people like to hear themselves talk. Because they like to hear themselves talk, they don't mind having conversations with other people and them being the center of attention. And it's destructive in a friendship or a relationship, because when you put yourself solely first and you don't think about the other person, it's imbalanced. It's not going to work out, because the other person is just looking at you like, dang, all you do is care about yourself. Do you even care about me? And if you just care about yourself, what am I doing here? So
Yeah, I feel like when you're an extremely kind person, you have to be more protective of yourself. When people are kind, they want to like give more and more and more. And you really have to protect your special ability that it is to be kind, because being kind sounds like it's simple, but it's not. I feel like there's very special people in this world who have those abilities. And once other people find that person, they like leech onto them and like take everything. So you have to make sure that the people around you aren't taking everything from you. And it's nice that I have this connection with you, because you are a very kind person, and I don't ever have to like get out of my comfort zone and set a boundary with you, because you don't cross my boundaries ever. But I will say though, you always tell me to come to you if I need you, but you don't come to me emotionally. So I don't want to do that to you, because you're a coach. So I don't want you to think that I'm using uh your work like to my advantage. Like, I have talked to you before, but I don't want to do that every time, because I already know everybody does that to you. And also you provide a service and it's not for free, so I'm not here to take that from you. But if there's a reciprocation between us where you're coming to me about something, then I will gladly come to you about something. But I don't want to keep being the person that goes to you, because I have gone to you like several times and you've come to me 0 times. So now there's just an imbalance. So I'm not here to take.
um two things about that. So the first thing is that, trust me, like if I have an issue, I'll definitely come to you. That's not a problem. I think because it's funny, because I've heard this before, because of the fact that I'm such a person that's more focused on listening and helping people in that regard. I don't, and we talked about this before as well, that I'm not, it seems like I'm not a person that shares a lot, but it's more of the situation that, and I learned this about myself also, is like, I have certain safeguards or certain techniques that I do when things do happen. Or if something happens with like a situation between me or somebody else, or me and my wife or stuff like that, I address it. Like even though it may make me seem like very emotional or things like that, I will rather address it than me to go around acting like, oh man, what's going on, stuff like that. Because I'm a Virgo, and I think 24/7 of the time, 24/7, always thinking. So if I can get this situation and this feeling out of my system and to address it, I will. But this is not it's not a shy at you or a shot at you that I haven't come to you as far as like having issues. It's just that I kind of solved them already because
Mhm.
I kind of learned certain techniques already. But no, for sure. Like, and the second thing about it is that even though I'm a coach, even though I help people, that doesn't stop people from coming to ask me and stuff. And that's completely fine. I have to, it's me as a coach and a friend and a brother and a son and a cousin and a nephew. I have to set those boundaries.
Mhm.
I have to be the one to say, okay, I will give you advice. Advice is free. You can give advice for free. But when it comes to me giving you like coaching techniques or even counseling techniques that I know because I went to school for counseling, that's when you got to pay. But as far as like me giving you advice about a situation, I'm always open to give advice. That's not a problem. Like literally, I have a friend that's getting married. I give him advice all the time about, marriage and stuff like that because he's planning his wedding. No problem at all. But as far as like, oh, hey, can you sit down with me for like 50 minutes to an hour? We talk about situation. Got to pay for that. So, but
Yeah.
no, but yeah, but no, definitely, definitely, definitely. I don't want you to feel like I don't come to you. It's just like it's just because I've dealt with so many different stuff in my life, as we talked about before. I've
Yeah.
learned a couple of techniques to help myself. But yeah, I'll definitely talk to you more. Thank you for pointing that out. Um, that I will definitely talk to you more about allowing certain boundaries to not be set in our friendship.
Yes.
Yes.
Let the boundaries down.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I'm the same way though. Like I feel like I have learned so much and I feel like I don't need help. But more like recently with the things that I've come to you about, it got to a point where it's like I've exhausted all of the tools. Like sometimes there are situations where it's just like it's just not working.
Mhm.
Everything I'm trying is not working and I'm stuck. But you can always learn from someone. So I mean, it's good that your situations don't get to that point where it like hits a wall, but sometimes it does, and that's when you need like an outside perspective. But I've definitely had many friendships where it was all about the other person and not about me at all. And to an extent, I felt safe there because I've never been like nurtured as a child, or so I'm very used to like not mattering and making someone else matter. But in the end it's just like there I'm still not loved, so I'm still bothered, so I am doing this out of resentment in the end. um so that's just where I try to just be very selective when it comes to people. I'm not just going to openly let everybody in and let them take advantage of all the goodness that I have to offer. And it took a lot for me to realize that no matter how kind I am, people are not going to be kind to me. So I really want to work on like just being quicker with my boundaries, like me not having to go home and think about it all night and then come later and say something. Like I want to do it on the spot. Somebody disrespected me right here, I want to respond right away and just be like, excuse me, like make them feel as stupid as they are behaving.
No, I mean that shows growth within you as well because you're not dealing with the nonsense anymore. So I guess my question, I had a question for you. I had a question. Are you the type of person, because there's different people like that, different people in the world for sure, and how they deal with situations. Are you the type of person that when you set boundaries and that person's not um respecting the boundaries, are you the type of person that automatically cuts them off? Or are you like a person that's like a slow burn? Like eventually you just drift away from their lives. What kind of person are you?
Um, See, we talked a lot about how I'm a ghoster. So like everybody knows I'm a ghoster. So it depends on the situation. Sometimes I'll ghost, sometimes I will do the slow burn where I'll slowly start to distance myself. And next thing you know, they'll be like, where's she at? And I'll be like, you'll never know.
So for me, the reason I asked the question because I know who I am, and I'm definitely a slow burn. Like I don't know, I've learned not to be as nice as I used to be for sure.
Mm-hmm.
but it still gets to me just to cut people off, just to cut. So sometimes I just let them just walk away, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is the person I don't need to text anymore, or I need to talk to anymore, or give enough energy to, because they don't see the value of me being in their lives. So I get it. But it was mutual, because deep down I didn't feel this. I felt the same way as well. Like, okay, this is not working out as a friend, and we just had to end it. But yeah, that was just something I was thinking about. Speaking about self setting boundaries and stuff. And I know you touched on your family a little bit. Of course, the situation with your parents, and I know about your siblings, but I don't know if our audience knows about your siblings, and that's completely fine. Um, how are you with setting boundaries with your family? Because what's another saying that they say, that you're born into your family, you don't pick your family. So how are you with setting boundaries with your family? Is it, and of course, we being nice, kind people, are you a type of person that, back to the cut them off completely, or is it like more of a slow burn with them?
Well, I have no issue talking about my family. I cut off my family, all of them, all of them. Um, I feel like I never figured out how to set those boundaries, and I'm learning more and more that a lot of people have these issues with their families, and my answer is simple to everyone: cut them off, because that's what I've done, you know? But I realize it's not that easy for people, and I feel like that is a situation where you have to continuously set your boundaries. Like, if your mom repeatedly does something, you have to be like, mom, I told you not to say that to me. I will not come to brunch next time if that's how you're going to talk to me. So I feel like you have to repeatedly set those boundaries. As for me with my family, I feel like I did try to set boundaries repeatedly, and they continuously were crossed. So to me, those were grounds to cut them off. But it took many, many years to get there, and it took many, many years to heal and move on from that. So I would never tell someone to do that. That's a very personal decision, and something that you need to decide within yourself if you're capable of doing. But that was my method, and I feel very like relieved about that, especially hearing like all the drama that goes on in my family till this day. I'm just like, thank goodness that I'm not there, and I don't need to be there, and I'm not missing out on anything.
Oh, I mean, that's powerful, for sure, because sometimes it's not easy, especially when you grew up with them, and they've instilled certain things in your life, that positive and negative. And it's kind of like, okay, well, how do I end this situation? Because some of the characteristics that you got, I don't like. So for me, of course, as our viewers may know, or you definitely know, Jacky, is that my mom died when I was younger, and then my older brother died shortly after that. So it's me, my brother, my younger brother, and my dad. And sometimes I have to set boundaries with both of them, because I guess I would say, quote unquote, I'm very stable, like I'm the stable one. So I got things going on and things like that. But when it comes to finances, I think finances is a big thing, because if anything goes wrong, they tend to come to me. So, oh, can I borrow this? Or hey, and I'm just like, I don't mind giving if I have it, but at the same time, just because you have it doesn't mean you have to give it. And I had to learn that principle. I had to learn that principle because I was just giving, 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 and I thought it was okay. It doesn't, I mean, of course, my dad raised me from when I was a baby. And my brother is my brother. If they need help, of course, I'm here to help them. But then I had to realize that, hey, just because you have it doesn't mean that you have to give it to them. Just
Mm,
because they're asking for something doesn't mean they really need it. They just try. Sometimes it's like more of a situation where you're asking to see if you're going to give it, or they have to go get it themselves. And I had to learn that, because it's sometimes at first you're like, okay, I'm giving it, but after a while it's kind of like, aren't you working too? Like, aren't you able to work just like I'm working? I'm working, and I'm putting all these hours into my job, and I'm putting all these hours into extra things as well. And it's like, dang, like, I know I'm putting a lot of effort to make this money. So why can't they put that effort in too? And I know they have certain situations, circumstances, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the ability to do it. And that's what I had to realize. Like, okay, yeah, I'll help you here, but next time I can. Or, oh, when they ask me about this, I'm like, no, I can't at this time. I got other things to do. I have other things to pay for. And sometimes it's a lie. Sometimes I don't necessarily have anything I need to spend the money for. But when you go through these situations, and especially for people that's listening and watching, when you go through the situations where people tend to attach themselves to you in ways. It could be with money, it could be with your time, it could be with your energy. They might want to ask you to do stuff for them, and you know deep down that they have the ability to do it for themselves. They're just asking you because it's an easy option.
Mhm.
That's when you have to set those boundaries, because once you start to that habit, that cycle of that person always coming to you, they're not going to stop it. It's good. It's a good feeling. It's a good experience. It's a good situation. Why would I stop the source of my nourishment if the nourishment is not stopping me?
Mhm.
So I had to learn that a lot, especially with family.
Oh yeah, the money thing is like a whole thing. My mom like always demanded my money from me. She never like asked or anything like that. And even when I got pregnant with my oldest son, she still asked me for money and I had no idea how much she was going to take. We drove to my bank and we walked up to my ATM and she typed in whatever she wanted to type in. I'm her 19-year-old daughter who's pregnant, unmarried, and lives in her boyfriend's parents' basement. And she was taking money from me when I was pregnant.
Wow.
So I started to become more angry about it at that time because to like my mindset had changed. Like I have a son now and I felt like that helped me detach from her and kind of like look at things in a way where I was like, you're no longer the center of my life or my main priority, my child is. Now, granted, I should have realized that for myself without a child being attached to that. Like I should have been able to say, I am the center of my life and I am my priority and you're not. But thankfully, my child helped me to realize that. And me having children helped me be stronger to get away from that toxic relationship because I'm not going to let anything happen to my kids, you know? And I shouldn't have waited for children to be the reason because I shouldn't let anything happen to me. I shouldn't have to wait until there's another purpose. And I think a lot of women try to find their worth and their value and their purpose in children. Don't wait to have children to cut people off. You know, don't wait until you start birthing children to get them away from your toxic family members because you deserve exactly what you would give to a child. Um, but yeah, that's what helped me stand firm in those decisions. Just knowing that even, you know, my ex-husband, that relationship was very harmful for them. And that helped me to become more empowered in my decisions. But now today, I do everything that I do also for me, not just for them. I do not sacrifice who I am in this world for my children. I do everything for them, but I matter too.
Yeah, I think that's very powerful. When you are living life and you don't add yourself to the equation, that's when it becomes dangerous. Like you're literally giving your all to other people and you don't have enough energy for yourself. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you get sick. That's how you get exhausted every day. That's how you don't really look at your dreams and your goals anymore as something as possible. You just live through maybe your kids, maybe you live through your job, maybe you live through your marriage or your relationship, and you're not living for yourself. And I think that's what a lot of people are stuck with, the mindset of, oh, I got this going on, I don't have time to do this thing for myself. Oh, I gotta work or I gotta take care of the kids. I can't really go enjoy my hobbies that I used to. That's not important. Who am I to think about myself? No, you are you. So you have to think about yourself. If you don't think about yourself, you're all the people that you're giving your energy to, they're gonna probably find somebody else to get the energy from. But when you feel depleted, where are you getting your energy from? If you don't have those people in your life to fill you up with energy, and you don't have that ability to do it for yourself, you'll be empty for the rest of your life. So we can't live like that. You can't live like that. If you're listening or watching, you can't live that way. So
A quote that I really, really, really love is if someone does not want me, the world does not end. But if I do not want myself, the world is nothing but endings. So
Mm.
everybody everybody is tangible in your life. And I thought for myself like that my kids were someone who was never leaving my side. But along with my divorce came me sharing my children. And so I was alone without them, and I had to figure out who I was without them. And that helped me to realize that even though I'm a mother, I am still me by myself. So that does not change. There was another quote I wanted to say, but I lost it. Like I kept repeating it in my head while you were talking, and I was like, I am not gonna lose it, but I lost it. So another point that I wanted to make is that I think that it's hard when people don't recognize, when people are not self-aware, so they don't know what they're doing. If people are not aware of themselves, what weight does a boundary have on them? If you're calling someone out about something they did, how far is that boundary going to go if they don't even recognize that they're doing it? And I feel like this happens a lot when it comes to emotional affairs. How are you going to call someone out about what they're doing to you mentally and emotionally if they are unaware of themselves and they are going to deny it when you say it? You know, I feel like that's why people don't confront people about emotional affairs, because no one's being direct. So how are you going to go to someone and be like, I see what you're doing, and then they deny it, and then you feel like an idiot? So you know, I'm done with living life like that, because I have had many situations that were like emotional affairs, and in my head I would be like, I want to say something to that person, but if I say something, they're going to deny it and I'm going to look like an idiot. Now in these days, if somebody's doing that to me, I'm going to say it, and I don't care if they deny it. They can go think about it and marinate in what I said, but I know that they're doing what I said they're doing.
No, yeah, I completely agree. Like as I was just a disclosure, on my coaching page, I do like a 4-week series. And when I always think about different topics about that one initial topic, which was emotional cheating or emotional fears, as Jacky wisely put it, I think about questions, like questions I will ask myself and questions that people should think about. Like, and in the scenarios when it comes to emotional cheating, like it gets, as you said, it gets difficult because you're like, okay, wow, this person is, you guys are really talking a lot on the phone, like you guys. And why are you always walking away when you have these conversations? Why do I have to be away from these conversations when you guys have it? Or you guys are texting a lot, or you seem distant. You're devoting your energy to somebody else, but you're not devoting it to me. All of these are signs of someone that's engaging in these conversations with other people. And then when we first talked, when we were talking about this before we started recording, it's like when you start to see the signs of people who are they're not devoting they're not putting energy into the relationship, and they seem distant, that's when the problems come. And it hurts you because it's like, well, he said or she said that they're friends. Like, why should I be the person to intrude in their friendship? Or, why should I be that person that's like, oh, you can't be friends with he or she? And they, as my significant other said, they're just talking. But what are they talking about? What are they gauging? And especially when you have those, when you feel it, you can feel it. When your significant other has those type of friends that they don't really seem friends, they're more like friends that are waiting, or those friends that are just looking for signs of the relationship not working out so they can jump in. We've all been in those situations that someone just pounces on a situation and, oh, that he's not good for you or she's not good for you. And then lo and behold, caught myself again, lo and behold, after your relationship ends, that they end up going, end up starting a relationship as well. So we see this, whether if it hasn't happened to you, you may have probably seen it on like TV or movies and stuff like that, or social media. So yeah, look out for those signs and make sure that, back to the boundary situation, make sure you are addressing with your significant other about setting boundaries with certain people, especially when you feel like you have an intuition about the behaviors that other person is exhibiting. So
Yeah, Jackie and I talk about that a lot. And I tell her that I will point out if I see that someone like has different intentions with her, but I also tell her I'm not going to tell you who to be friends with, not only because I don't tell her what to do, but she cannot be told what to do. So I'm not even going to try. Like, so there's no point in doing that. She is fully responsible in respecting our relationship at all times. If she wants to disrespect it, I'm going to find out one way or another, and then that's something that she's going to have to deal with. So am I going to be afraid every single day of my life, every single second, worry that she's going to do something? No. Even if she does have a friendship with someone who I think has like impure and is that a word? I don't know, not
Yeah,
pure
yeah, yeah,
intentions.
yeah,
I'm not going to try to control that situation. I understand the fear surrounding it, but you can't control anything. Your partner is responsible to respect your relationship at all times. And also, like, on the other end of things, you can't help who likes you and you can't help who you like, you know? So as long as everybody's respecting everyone, I think that that's something to consider as well. You can't just be like, oh, because you that person likes you, they need to get cut off. Like, you know, humans are humans, and people care about people. I know, like, Jackie specifically, she cares about people a lot. So for me to ask her to cut someone out is like, you know, not kind of me.
yeah. No, I get that. I get that point as well, especially with the concept of having friends that there's some type of attraction. It doesn't have to be like a physical attraction, but it could be like, oh, I really enjoy that person's personality, or I love having conversations with this person because we just get it, or we're what's the thing that we like to in tune? We're in tune with certain things, and I mean, it happens. It happens, but the question is, how far are you taking those attractions? I think that's the most important thing. You can't say you're attracted to someone and you're like, oh, let me go and see how far this attraction goes. No, you're in a whole relationship. That is not something that you should be okay with doing. Keep the attraction where it is. There's an attraction, but then move on and devote your energy and your time to the relationship, because you have agreed to be in a relationship with someone else. You can't keep dabbling and jumping in and out of situationships, and while at the same time you have a whole relationship on the side. That's how emotional cheating, emotional fears happen, and um, both consciously and unconsciously. So
There's also a distinct difference between a crush and an emotional affair. So I wanted to kind of like point that out as well. It is very normal for you to be in a relationship and have a crush on someone else. Nobody wants to talk about this, but I'm just going to say it out loud for the people in the back. It's not comforting. I think about that all the time. I'm like, I could have a crush, Jackie could have a crush on someone. I'm so uncomfortable with that, but humans, that's just the way we are. And commitment to someone is a choice. It's not something that's going to happen naturally for the rest of your life. You have to choose your person every single day. There's other beautiful and handsome and intelligent and cool and funny people out there. Yes, there are. It's going to happen. It is. I'm sorry to tell you, it's going to happen, but there's no need to panic. However, when it comes to an emotional affair, it's when you start to have fantasies of being with that person and taking things further, and your emotional energy is starting to go towards that person, and you're really like investing. You're starting to invest. It's putting emotions into someone outside of your relationship, whereas a crush is something like like a little surface level thing, whereas emotional affair is like you are giving emotion to this person. And also, an emotional affair can be one-sided. Like, that person doesn't even need to be feeding it. It could just be you and your brain doing the whole thing. It doesn't have to be like a two-way thing. Just like the other person outside of your relationship could just have an emotional affair with you inside of them. It has nothing to do with you. So those are some things that I've learned recently.
yeah, no, I agree. That's definitely a very good point. I think I touched on that too a little bit as well. But the thing also about it is that as what we as individuals have to remember is that what boundaries are we setting with other people? I think that's the biggest thing also. Like, yeah, you can have a crush, you can have attraction, that's cool, but what about you? Oh, sometimes we tend to point fingers at the other person. Oh, that other person is just trying to have a conversation with me, and but what about you? Are you the person that's leading it on? Are you the person that's giving that person the energy to continue this emotional affair or lead you to an emotional affair? Are you the person that's initiating the emotional affair and emotional cheating? You have to remember all this stuff. That's why it's important, yes, to set boundaries with other people, but also set boundaries with yourself. Of course, that doesn't mean that you have to be very rigid all the time, and you can't be friends with anybody or create new friendships. But at the same time, you have to remember that when you start new friendships or have current friendships, what boundaries are you setting? Are you giving the same energy to your significant other that you're giving to that person? If you are, that's a problem. And what are you going to do about it? So
It can just be so confusing, especially for me, because like I was gonna say like a straight man, I'm not gonna text him at like 10 p.m. But there's also lesbians, like, and I mean Sonia, my friend who was on, she's a lesbian. Like, can I talk to her after 10 p.m.? Yes, and I have, and so has Jackie. Like, it's, I don't even know. It's the vibe, I guess. Like you have to reflect on your friendships and observe those behaviors, because if it was off, then no, you shouldn't talk to that person at 10 p.m. If you want to keep a friendship and there's like some sort of attraction there, you have to set a lot of boundaries around that. And I feel like people just don't talk about this, and we need to start talking about these things, because just because we're in a relationship doesn't mean our humanity turns off. Like, we still find other people attractive, people flirt with us, we might like it. So yeah, and I completely agree with setting boundaries with yourself too. And that kind of ties into what we were talking about before. Like, a boundary I have set within myself is that I'm not going to keep setting boundaries with people like over and over again. So yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. And what guys what's the thing? All these older men that always tell the younger guys like, oh, you could look but don't touch. But it's like, but that's a boundary. That's a boundary. Like, don't pursue when all okay, you had an attraction, something happened. Okay, fine. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Don't invest into it. Don't put any energy into it. It happened. It is what it is. Oh, that person's attractive. Oh, this person looks good today. Oh, we had a great conversation. And then that's it. Don't, because I think the problem that a lot of people have is that we tend to venture into things that we don't need to venture into. We tend to push ourselves into situations where you could have easily stepped out that situation and been like, okay, this is what it was, and keep moving. But a lot of times that's how cheating, like physical cheating, happens, is that we tend to push the envelope, or I wonder what would it be if I continue this conversation and see where it went. Or I wonder how this would this go if maybe we set a little private time between us and we see how the atmosphere is when we're alone together. That's how problems happen. So yes, it may have happened, an attraction may have happened, or you something caught your eye. Just keep moving, keep it walking. Don't go too deep into it. So
Yeah, that's what commitment is. It's choosing your partner over and over, despite the fact that there's like all types of people out there and you'll have all types of encounters. So you have to just be mentally strong enough to redirect yourself. And I mean, I feel like that's kind of the same with like following influencers on social media when it comes to men. I personally don't feel like there's a lot of eye candy for women on social media, like as far as men go, but maybe you know something I don't know, David. Are there like shirtless men on Instagram that I don't know about? I don't think
I'm not on social media to that extent to be like going through, what is it, the Explorer page or stuff like
yeah.
that. But as for guys, I mean, it's funny that we talked. This is like the first episode we ever did about
Yeah.
IG models and
Mhm.
women posting pictures and thirst traps and people who post things for you to continue to look and read, or things of that nature, just to keep your attraction on them. And it's like, it takes willpower. It does take willpower, because you can easily go through an Explorer page and then be there for hours just looking up, oh, I wonder what I can find here or what I can do here. As I said, make those boundaries strong. And sometimes those boundaries may crumble, but you got to keep rebuilding those boundaries, because let's put it this way: you wanted to be with that person for a reason. Make sure you own up to that. Make sure you commit to that. Instead of you saying, oh, I want to be with this person, oh, I don't want to be with this person, and then you go start a whole new relationship with somebody else, start the cycle over and over again. you're not really happy. All you're doing is just starting something over and over again, just so that you can please the ego. And the ego is just a temporary thing. Like, anyway, we could talk about this all day, but that's basically in a nutshell about the commitment thing. I mean, commitment and setting boundaries as well. So
That's exactly what I was thinking about the ego. But unfortunately, we have to wrap up. I
yeah.
feel like an hour is already a long, long time, so I don't want to go over an hour. But that was a really good conversation. I enjoyed that. But yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah. That was funny. I was like anticipating, like, oh, Jackie's about to ask some questions. But just like
No,
the last
no, we don't
episode.
have time.
I know. But hey, we always have the next episode. So
Yeah.
but with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We talked about setting boundaries with other people and ourselves, and also emotional cheating, emotional affairs, and what to do with those situations. Of course, if you do want more, I guess, more in-depth information, for sure, go to my page, Collab Coaching. I did a whole 4-week series about it. We're actually wrapping up week 4 this week. So next week, we're going to do a whole new topic that I got an idea about. It's going to be a little bit more controversial as well. But anyway, we'll get to that later. But thank you so much for watching and listening with Heart and Soul Podcast. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram. DM us with any topics that you might have that you want us to talk about. We're definitely open to talk about different topics, or if you want to be a guest on the podcast, we are open for having guests as well. Follow us on Instagram, like and subscribe on YouTube as well with Heart and Soul Podcast. That way you don't miss out on the visuals to see our lovely faces. Also, we're on SoundCloud as well with Heart and Soul Podcast. Jackie's amazing business that did my merch. They could do your merch. They could do whatever you want. They could do hoodies. They could do shirts. They could do hats. Is See Where We Land. They have their own Instagram, see_where_land on Instagram. DM them if you want to have order placed, or you could go to Etsy. They're also on Etsy as well. Jackie's personal Instagram, love, peace, and kindness. She posts amazing stuff about emotional abuse, and also about her daily workouts. And also, she's been very rampant with the stylist techniques that she does, and how to make outfits that seem like they're thousands of dollars out of like $20. She's doing an amazing job with that. And then follow her there. Also my coaching stuff is Collab Coaching, COLAB Coaching. Like and subscribe on Instagram. Like on Instagram, follow on Instagram as well. Subscribe on YouTube. All my videos and series are on YouTube as well. Website is yourcollabcoach.com. Fill out that free 15-minute coaching, free 15-minute coaching session, so we can talk about anything you want to talk about as far as relationships, and fill out that relationship checklist as well. With that being said, I think that's it. Yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching, and have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.